Okay, so as you can see, we're going to be playing the tricky 8-bit computer games quiz from Jay is Manchild. So let's start him off there. He'll be up in the corner, hopefully, if this has worked out right. Let's turn him down a little bit because he's very loud.
How about a Christmas quiz? We all love a quiz around this time of year. It distracts us from the anxiety and resentment from that political argument we had at dinner time. And what about an 8-bit computer game quiz?
Yay!
If you clicked on this thumbnail, there's a fair chance you will know your stuff.
I doubt
if you
it.
know your Monty Moles from your Minor Willies,
I have a Minor Willy.
Fair chance of having fun. Why not give it a go by minimising this quiz video in the top corner of a video response and then proving live that you're clever about Commodore, smart about
well, that's
spectrums,
exactly
and
what we're doing.
at questions about Amstrads. Then you can post the video response in the comments with your score.
Oh, this is 25 minutes long. I didn't realise that.
Big smarty pants you are with your big boy smart trousers and your clever clogs underneath those there trousers. Or you could just post your score and hope that we believe you. I mean, we might, unless your profile thumbnail looks well dodgy. There will be a round on each of the big 3 8-bit computers.
I suppose I should have a piece of paper and write down my answers.
Sorry to any Oric, BBC or MSX fans out there. We're not going to be doing questions about those machines. And they will be interspersed with other rounds as well. So let's hit it up then, as this intro is taking longer than most 8-bit games took to load.
That's a long time.
Answers are at the end of each round, so keep a pen and paper at the ready then, as we start with round 1, which is about the Amstrad. Question 1. What date did the Amstrad CPC 464 come out?
I'm going to guess
it
October.
A, the 12th of April 1984? Was it B, the 12th of August 1984? Or was it C, the 12th of October 1984?
I think the 12th of October for the Christmas. Yeah, 12th of October, ready for Christmas.
Question 2. Which of these pieces of software was not in the AmSoft 12 pack, the compilation that was provided free with some CPC models? A. Animal, vegetable, mineral. B. Xanagrams. Or C. Seesaw.
I'm going to go with B. I think Xanagrams. I'm going with BJ. BJ?
Question
Oh dear.
3. The longest running Amstrad magazine was Amstrad Action. What was its #1 game in their top 100 Amstrad games of all time? Was it A. Spin Dizzy? Was it B. Lemmings? Or was it C. Rick Dangerous 2?
I'm going to go with B again.
Tuffy.
I think B I would have chosen, but
Question 4.
I don't know.
Published by Britannia Software in 1986, which license of a British TV series appeared exclusively on the Amstrad CPC after the Commodore 64 and Spectrum versions were cancelled? Was it A. Dempsey and Makepeace? B. Strike It Lucky? Or C. London's Burning?
Ooh, let's go with A.
Question 5. Which of these is not a Roland game? A. Roland in Space. B. Roland Down the Drain.
I'm going to go with C.
C. Roland Goes Square Bashing.
I don't know anything about Roland at all.
And that concludes the Amstrad round.
Oh.
Well, well, well. So here are the answers for the Amstrad round. What date did the Amstrad CPC 464 come out? Well, it was the 12th of April 1984. He's a real spring-like
Well, I
person
got that
full of
wrong.
joy, isn't he, Alan Sugar? Question 2. Which of these pieces of software was not in the AmSoft 12 pack? Well, it was Seesaw. Very colourful, isn't
I
it?
got that wrong too.
Nice game. Question 3 was what was Amstrad Action's top game in their top 100 list of all time? And it was Rick Dangerous. Those guys at Amstrad Action are masochists. That game
Yeah,
is horrendously difficult.
I'll agree.
Question 4, published by Britannia Software. What was the British TV series that appeared exclusively on the Amstrad after the Spectrum and Commodore 64 versions were cancelled? It was Dempsey and Makepeace.
Yeah, I got one right.
Yes, look at them there.
Never having owned an Amstrad, that's
Question
not bad
5,
now.
which of these is not a Roland game? Well, I've never seen Roland Down the Drain. Have you? So that is the answer. Well, the next round is What's the Alternative? Those who watch my channel will know I cover a lot of TV license games on the ZX Spectrum.
You certainly do.
Alternative software are seemingly responsible for most of them, and most of those range from dull to utterly depressing. Are the following TV license games, though, are they published by Alternative, or were they the responsibility of some other clowns in a different software house? Why don't you pick through the next 10 games and say whether they are the work of the unstoppable budget license hoovering juggernaut that are Alternative software, or if they're somebody else? So, are these games by Alternative software? Sooty and Sweep.
I'm going to go yes.
Popeye.
No?
The Secret Diary of Adrian Mole.
I'm going to give that a yes.
Bob's Full House.
I'm going to say no.
Huxley Pig.
Yes. That definitely looks like one of those. I'm probably wrong then.
Atom Ant.
Shall we give that a no?
Grange Hill.
7. Yes. Grange Hill, I think. I'd give that a yes.
Fireman Sam.
Yes.
Double Dare.
No.
The Munsters.
I'm going to go yes. Well, I think that could be wrong.
Count Duckula.
Ooh. No.
Inspector Gadget.
Yes.
There you go then. There are the alternative games and the not alternative games. Give yourself a point for each one you've got correct. Yes, and by the way, I do know Popeye did come out originally by DK Tronics, who also programmed the game, but it was re-released by Alternative Software, along with its 2 sequels, including that weird one where you wrestle a xenomorph, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in games, and I can't wait to cover that. But
I can't remember where they were. Could you have told us?
Let's move on to the Commodore 64 round. What was the number 1 game in Zap 64, by that time they were called Commodore Force though, in their top 100 games of all time? Was it A, Elite, B, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, or C, Turrican 2?
I think that'd be a C. Turrican 2 is an excellent game. Very good on the Commodore 64.
2. When was the Commodore 64 discontinued? Was it A, April 1993?
I'm going to go with C again.
Was it B, April 1994? Or was it C, April 1995? Whatever one of those it was, it had bloody good innings, didn't it?
It did. It done well.
Question 3. What was the subtitle given to the Mindscape Indiana Jones game that came out exclusively on the Commodore 64 in 1985?
I'm
Was
going
it
to
A,
go.
The Fate of Atlantis,
I'm going to go with that.
B,
A.
The Lost Kingdom,
Haven't got a clue.
or C, The Tomb of the Tiger King?
I actually do own a Commodore 64, but I haven't played much.
Question number 4. Ocean released a Transformers game in the UK in 1986. It wasn't particularly good. Neither was the Transformers game, which was released exclusively for the Commodore 64. Which games company released Transformers Battle to Save Earth? Was it A, Activision? Was it B, Americana? Or was
I'm
it
going
C,
for C, Accolade.
Accolade? Question 5. Which famous movie and TV dog went into space in an exclusive Commodore 64 game?
I'm going to go with B.
Was it A, Lassie? Was it B, Benji? Or was it C, The Littlest Hobo?
Yeah, I think that would be. I'm going to go with Benji on that. I haven't got a clue.
Where are those Commodore 64 answers? Well, they're right here and right now. The number one game in Zap 64, by that time Commodore Force's top 100 games of all time, was Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Oh, I got that wrong.
Played that recently. The Commodore 64's innings were indeed good, and they were indeed extended as far as April
Another one wrong.
1994. Wowee. Question 3 was, what was the subtitle given to the Mindscape Indiana Jones game that came out exclusively on the Commodore 64 in 1985? It was B, The Lost Kingdom. No, it wasn't Tomb of the Tiger King, Carol Baskin. As a
No.
reference.
So far that's 3 wrong in this round.
Year 2020 I'm talking about. And so no one, if anyone watches the video soon, will know what I'm talking about. Question 4. Ocean did indeed release a Transformers game, and also there was another company that released a Transformers game exclusively for the Commodore 64. It was Activision.
Oh no.
You can see on the screen
All
there is
wrong.
their effort just as subpar as the Ocean one. And the final question from the Commodore 64 round was, which was the name of the famous dog that went into space in an exclusive Commodore 64 game? That was Benji.
Yay, finally got one right.
Benji's Akinari Prince, maybe, even though it's not connected at all. There he is, in a spaceship. Good for him. Bark, bark. In space, no one can hear you. Woof. Now let's test your general knowledge. But guess what? You've got no get-outs this time. There are no multiple choice. You either know it or you don't. Crumbs. Question 1. Which 1990 flop Orion movie about a troop of elite US soldiers had a game released on all 3 formats along with the GX4000 and the 16-bit computers, courtesy of Ocean?
No idea.
Question 2. And much to their disgrace, CMVG gave Renegade 3 a high score on all of the 8-bit computers. But can you tell me which of the 8-bit computers had the highest scoring version?
Oh, I
Question
think Amstrad.
number 3. Who is this? Here he is represented in 3 separate screenshots from all 3 versions of the game. Here's a clue. Your uncle is probably like this.
Is this Cuba?
Question 4. By no means an accurate measure of how many games a system has, but which of the 3 formats has the most games listed on Wikipedia?
I'm going to
I
go
believe
Commodore
they're all commercial
64.
games too, but I might be wrong. I'm often wrong about things, as people will know from watching my channel.
Commodore 64. I think the Spectrum
Question
would have had a few
5.
less.
Go on then. How many games does that format have then? And alright, I'll be nice, I'll give you a multiple choice on this one. Does it have 1,989 games?
2022.
Does it have 2,300 games? Or does it have 2,022 games listed on Wikipedia? Question number 6. The GX4000 was a console that had the same hardware architecture as the CPC. It didn't do that well. In fact, it did pretty abysmally. But how many games in total were released for the GX4000 by our
I'm going to say
friend Mr.
27.
Sugar and his company Amstrad? Were there, and I'm helping you out with another multiple choice, aren't I? Were there A, 32, B, 29, or C, 27 games? Question number 7. What was the very last new commercial games release reviewed in your Sinclair before it departed the news racks in 1992? Was it A, Street Fighter 2? Was it B, Double Dragon 3? Or was it C, Bullies Sporting Darts?
I'm going to go with Double Dragon.
Number 8. Which sport did Janhagir Khan and Jonah Barrington endorse games of? Question number 9.
I'm going to go with
Which
cricket.
software house put out Squidge, thought to be the worst game of all time? Was it A, the Powerhouse,
Tynesoft.
B, Tynesoft, or C, Maxon? And the final question of this round is, of course, question number 10. Which weird reason was the Commodore 64 port of Taito arcade game Parasol Stars cancelled? And I got this one from Larry Bundy's book. Is it A, Ocean accidentally released the full game on the B-side of Pugsy's Scavenger Hunt, aka Addams Family 2? Was it B, that the programmer's wife smashed up all the equipment the game data was on in a drunken, jealous rage? Or was it C, Ocean thought that they had the license for Parasol Stars, but it had actually reverted back to Taito
I'm going with C.
that year? So here we are with the general knowledge answers. The flop movie that had a game made about it on quite a few formats, including, I forgot to mention, the Game Boy, was Navy Seals. Do you remember Navy Seals?
No idea.
No. Question number 2. What was the highest scoring version in that shameful issue of CMVG when they reviewed Renegade 3? Well, the Amstrad version had 83, the Commodore 64 version had 82, and the Spectrum version had 84. So, Spectrum version
Got that
wins
one.
Julian Rignall, one of the most legendary games journalists of all time. What were you thinking, mate? Honestly. Question number 3. Who is this? That, my friends, is Mr. Wino.
Okay, got that wrong.
Alcoholism.
Alcoholism's
Wino means
always good.
obviously an accurate barometer, but according to Wikipedia, what is the machine with the most games out of the big 3 8-bit micros? Well, it is the Commodore 64. And how many games did it have for question 5? Well, it had 2022.
Hey,
That's
2 in a
one
row,
for
right.
every year of Jesus' lifetime.
That's 2 in a row, right, on that
The
one.
last game reviewed in your Sinclair before it folded in 1992 was Bullies Sporting Darts. They did review another couple of educational types based on play days and things. The last game, proper game they reviewed, was Bullies Sporting Darts. Which sport did these two fine mustachioed gentlemen represent, which had games based upon them? It was squash. Where's my
Okay, I
PlayStation
said cricket.
5
Got
squash
that wrong.
game? Where's my PlayStation 4 squash game? Where's my PlayStation 3 squash game? Where's my PlayStation 2 Where are all the squash games? Number 9. Which software house put out Squidge? It was the Powerhouse. Well
That wasn't
done,
wrong.
you lot. And the final question of the round. What happened, basically, to the Commodore 64 port of Parasol Stars? Well, the programmer's wife had a bit of a bad
Well,
turn.
we're doing really
Smashed
badly.
up all of his work, and it was non-recoverable, and they didn't release it. Oops. And lordy, lordy, lordy low, the ZX Spectrum. Question 1. What game was top of Crash Magazine's top 100 Spectrum games of all time? Was it A, 3D Death Chase? Was it B, Rainbow Islands? Or was it C, Chase HQ?
I'm going to go with A, 3D Death Chase.
Question number 2.
That's probably wrong.
How many games that feature Spider-Man came out on the Spectrum? Was it A, 0? Was it B, 1? Was it C, 2?
I'm going to go with 0.
Question number 3. How many versions of the Spectrum were released after they were bought out by Amstrad? That is, how many versions of the Spectrum were released after they were bought out by Amstrad? That's iterations of the hardware. Sometimes I'm not very clear. Was it A, 5? Was it B, 3?
3.
Or was it C, just the 2? Question number 4. How much did the Spectrum cost when it was originally released in 1983? Was the 48K £165? Was it £175? Or was it £185? Well, what a question to ask. And the final
I think
question
that was C.
is this from the Spectrum round. What word is above the number 9 key on the 48K Spectrum's keyboard? What word is above the number 9 key on the 48K Spectrum keyboard? I'm talking about the one with the dead flesh. I'm supposed to say, I know I criticised people that said that in the last video, but there we go.
I don't
Is
know.
it A, delete? Is it B, graphics? Or is it C,
I'm going to go
print?
with B.
Look here, fellas. It's the Spectrum answers. The number 1 game in the top 100 games Crash Magazine was Rainbow Islands.
Ah, damn. Got that wrong. I'm not a lover of Rainbow Islands anyway, so I'd have preferred Chase
There were
HQ.
2 Spider-Man games.
God, I don't even remember
on
one.
the ZX Spectrum. They were Quest Probe Spider-Man, Captain America, Spider-Man in Doctor Doom's Revenge.
Can't say I've
So
played
that
either of them or even
it's
seen either
terrible.
of them. I think you're making it up, Jay.
How many versions of the Spectrum did Amstrad put out? Actually put out 5, which I was a bit surprised. I thought it was just the plus 2, the plus 2A and the plus 3. But there's a plus
That's what I had.
2B and a plus 3B where they fix some audio issues. Well, I never.
They don't count.
The cost of the 48K Spectrum when it was initially released was the princely sum of £175.
Wow.
What is the word above the number 9 key on the rubber keyed Spectrum? It is graphics.
Yay, I got that
Well,
one
there we
right.
go. That's that solved, isn't it?
Final round. Fight.
Not including compilations, there were 12 Dizzy games released on the 8-bit micros by Codemasters. Can you name as many as possible? Remember, there are 12.
Do it! Do it!
I've got Fast Food, Dizzy, Fantasy Island Dizzy, the Yoke Folk, I don't know, is that a game? Treasure Island? Can't remember any of them. I'm not a fan of Dizzy either. Maybe David Birdsall would know. He's more likely to know.
Stop it!
Here are your dizzying answers then. You've got Dizzy, Treasure Island Dizzy, Fast Food Dizzy, Fantasy World Dizzy, Quick Snacks, Magic
I got
Man
Fantasy
Dizzy,
Island
Dizzy
now.
Panic, Bubble Dizzy, Spellbound Dizzy, Dizzy Prince of the Oak Folk, and Crystal
I got the Oak
Kingdom
Folk.
Dizzy.
I'll have that.
What a lovely little egg he is, eh? Look at his boxing gloves.
So I can only give myself 3 for that. Oh, we had a silent bit. What's going on, Jay?
There you have it. Possible 47 points up for grabs. Sorry about that round number, fans. How well did you do? Did you get the 47? Big smart ass, or did you give out 3?
I don't know, because that middle round 2.
Anyway, thanks for taking
Round
part.
2 was a
If this
mess up,
doesn't
mate.
enough, I might well do one from the 8-bit consoles at Easter. Please post your results and your videos, if you so wish, in the comments, and I'll wish you a Merry Christmas, you filthy.
I'll add up my points in a moment and I'll let you know.
Also, maybe do your own quiz. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Okay, thanks, bye.
Okay, so that was the quiz. I'm going to go and add up my points and run back through the video and see what happened in round 2. And then I'll add a little addendum at the end. So I'll be back. Okay, so that was the 8-bit computer fun quiz. I'm just going to add up my score now. And I've got 1 in the first round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 in the second round, that's 9. 1 in the next round, which is 10. 11, 12 in the next round. 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 out of a possible 40 something. That's not great. Not great at all, but thanks, Jay, for running this quiz and making me look like a complete tool. Yeah, it was a great fun quiz actually. Wasted 25 minutes or so, and the video that I'm making is probably going to waste a bit more of my time. But it is Christmas Eve, so Merry Christmas everybody. And again, go and see Jay's channel. He does some great stuff on there. Yeah, take a look at his channel. I'll leave a link in the description. This 8-bit computer fun quiz is just the kind of thing that he does. Some super duper retro stuff, lots of fun facts, a bit of innuendo, some stuff for us grown-ups. So all I'm going to say then is I scored 16. Are you going to give it a go? You've probably seen all the answers now, so it's not really worth it. But anyway, that's my video reply to Jay is Manchild, the 8-bit computer fun quiz. So finally, thanks for watching, Merry Christmas, and bye.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and click the bell to be notified whenever we upload a new video. You can see another of our videos by clicking on the links.